Hey everyone, Matt here from Planet OSRS. Welcome to the Complete Leviathan Guide. We are going to get into everything related to this fight. What to do when the attacks start coming at you faster. How do I handle those rocks? How do I stay with that Pathfinder and still get the damage output on him? We'll cover all of it. We'll take the guesswork out of it for you. We'll touch briefly on gear and inventory, but we're going to focus on the fight. So let's get started. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and take a look at the gear and inventory. On this topic, one thing to note, go with what you got. You don't always have to have the absolute best in slot gear for DPS. If you don't have it and you can't afford to go out and buy it in certain areas, use what you have. Once you learn the mechanics, you will be able to kind of give and take in some of these areas. So definitely go with what you got as far as gear goes. Inventory, set it up however it's comfortable for you, but I'll run down real quickly what I take and why I'm taking it as we get there here. So gear wise, I'm going with the Masori mask. I'm going with the Necklace of Anguish. I'm using the Blessed Quiver. That gives me an extra ammo slot, so I'm going to use Rada's Blessing 4 and Ruby Dragon Bolts, which are enchanted for their special effect to be able to really get some good DPS in on the Leviathan. I had to downgrade from the Zerite crossbow. The Armadillo crossbow works fine. The Zerite crossbow just enhances the bolt special effect when it actually hits, which is nice. But the Armadillo crossbow will work just fine here. Like I said, Missouri body, twisted buckler for my shield slot, Missouri chaps like we were talking about, Zerite van braces for my glove slot, Pegasian boots, and the light bearer, which you'll see here in a second more on that. Inventory wise, as far as that, I would recommend giving up an inventory spot to bring either the ancient staff, the ancient scepter, any of the 4 upgraded ancient scepters from Desert Treasure 2, and then having Smoke Rush set to it. Because Smoke Rush will stun the Leviathan and trigger the special attack, so you're definitely going to want to bring this. It's a lot easier to click the staff, click on the Leviathan than it is to go in your spellbook, trying to find the spell, and then click on it, and then click on the boss. I can't recommend anything that can cast ancients with a preset spell strongly enough. The Web Weaver is going to be my special attack weapon, which that'll come into play here in just a moment when we start getting into the mechanics of the fight and breaking that down. I bring 1 dose of ranging potion that I use for the whole trip. I can usually get 4 to 5 kills. I have over 5,000 kills here. I'm still waiting on the pet, so I can usually get 4 to 5 kills out of just 1 dose of a ranging potion. If you don't feel comfortable with that, bring a divine ranging potion. Bring whatever you want. I am by no means saying that this is the end-all be-all as far as gear and inventory. Go with what you got. I'm just explaining why I'm using it. I'm using the Ring of Shadows and the Scar teleport to get here. 4 prayer potions full, and then I'm going to combo eat manta rays and Kawambwans. The construction cape is going to be my teleport out of here. I have a couple of house tabs in case I get in trouble while I'm here and need to bail. And then the last 2 inventory spots here are for the runes for Smoke Rush. Real quick before we get back into the action here, I wanted to take a moment and invite you to join us at Planet OSRS. Our Discord link is down in the description. We have folks who are just starting out all the way up through max. So if it's PVM, skilling, maybe you're trying to learn how to do a raid or you're looking for a raid group, we would be happy to have you here, and there's a place for you. So again, that Discord link is down in the description. Come join us. All right, everybody, I'm going to break down the fight here real quick before I climb up there and get started. So I have these 4 tiles marked right here. This is where I start the fight. So I'm going to climb up the rocks and I'm going to run here. That's the first tile that I start at. So basically what he's going to do, the gist of the fight is he is going to pop up, and then he's going to shoot these orbs at you, and they're going to be different colors. Each color is going to correspond to a prayer. So he's going to pop up, we're going to run down over here, we're going to pray our best range boosting prayer, rigor if you have it, if not, the best range boosting prayer you've got. And then if he throws a green orb at you, you throw on pray ranged. If he throws a blue orb at you, you throw pray magic. Orange orbs are going to be protect from melee. One cool thing about this that makes the fight kind of unique is the damage doesn't calculate until it washes and splashes on you. So, like, unlike just about any other point in the game where the damage is calculated and you have to have the prayer on as the attack animation starts, with this boss, it's not calculated until it actually hits you. So it makes the fight kind of unique and cool. Every 10 to 15 seconds, he's going to flick his head up and he's going to hit the ceiling and cause some debris and some rocks to fall down. Now, I want to talk about the rocks here for just a moment, because managing the rocks is the name of the game. As you're going to see here in a little bit, as far as my example kills, I'm going to demonstrate, what to do and, how it can kind of go bad for you at times. But essentially, we want to leave all of this around here open. The path around him open and, around here, because at the end of the fight, there's going to be something that spawns called the Abyssal Pathfinder. And it's going to move around here, and you're going to want to be able to stay close to that Pathfinder so you can finish the fight. It's a damage buff that's going to allow you to deal a massive amount of damage to him. So it's super critical that we manage where the rocks fall and we understand what rocks stay permanent on the battlefield. So every 10 to 15 seconds, he's going to flick his head up, cause rocks to fall. The tile that you're on is always going to have a rock that's going to stay permanent for the rest of the fight on it. It won't go away until he dies or you teleport out. So this tile is the one that we were on. That's going to have a rock. So then we're going to move over to this one. And then he's going to go right back to the volleys. I'll explain the different speeds of the volleys here in a second. But after the first time he hits his head, there's two other rocks that are going to fall down that are going to be permanent. They're either going to be north and south, so somewhere up over here, or they're going to be east to west, somewhere over here. If the rocks are north to south, what that tells us is his special attack, his first special attack that we're going to have to deal with is going to be the rock attack. If they're east to west, that tells us that his first special attack is going to be the lightning attack. He only has two, it's rock and lightning, and then they're going to interchange. Just super important. It will also say in the chat box what he's going to do. I think it says a message like the Leviathan spits out debris, or the Leviathan charges up for a lightning attack. Those are two of the other rocks that stay permanent. The other ones that stay permanent are the rocks for the debris attack. So managing where you're at for that special attack, and as long as, again, keeping this clear, and then, keeping everything clear. We want the rocks back up in the corners, essentially, as far away as we can. Not the end of the world if you don't. It doesn't mean that the kill's over in most cases. It's just going to make the kill a little bit harder for you. Now, the volleys. So the first volley when we're over here is going to be mage in range, and it's going to be super, super slow. After that first volley, we're never going to see this slow speed again. The second tile that we move to is going to be mage in range. It's still going to be very, very slow. It's just going to be a little bit faster. The third tile over here, so he's going to flick his head again, and again we got to move over here because there's going to be a rock here. So this tile is going to be mage, range, and melee. Those are going to be the ones that he throws at you. And it's going to be at the same speed as this tile, but he's just adding another component onto it there. This fourth tile here is going to be mage and range, but we're going to be switching back between them super, super fast because the attacks come pretty quick. A fifth tile, if there was one, I only have 4 marked because I like to stun him at the end of the fourth one. I can go faster, I just don't like to do it. And there's not really a need to. This fifth tile over here would be this same speed, but it would be mage, range, and melee, and it would be super quick. And then if there was another tile, I don't know why you would want to do that, especially learning the fight out, but it's basically tick perfect. The attacks are so fast that you basically have to be tick perfect. Now, at any point as he's going, you can switch over to your ancient staff that you have, the staff that you have that's set up to auto cast ancients, click on him with it, and then have him and it will cast Smoke Rush. That will stun him. All of the different smoke spells are going to stun him for the same amount of time. So it's not like you get bonus time to run around him if you have Smoke Barrage on. They all only stun him for about, I think they say 10 seconds, but it doesn't feel like you have even that long, if I'm being completely honest. The point is stun and run. Hit stun and start running. You can stun him, and then you run around behind him. There's a spot on his back that you'll see, and you shoot him, and it's going to deal a massive amount of damage because it's one of his weak points. That's going to trigger the special attacks. So remember, if those rocks were north and south after that first volley from over here, his first special attack is going to be the rock attack. Now, he spits out the rocks fairly quickly, but it's 2 rocks to a tile. So you can actually walk like this, at this pace. When you're learning the boss, though, I would recommend, like just going like this, just 1 tile at a time, It's going to be a longer line, but again, it's not so much about the length of the line of the rocks as it is so much you not getting hit by the rocks. Because if you get hit by the rocks as he's spitting them out, the game, it's like I don't want to say it glitches, but you have to like spam click to get back behind the rocks before he does the second half of the attack. It's kind of weird, and it makes it kind of hard to to finish. And if you get hit by a rock and you don't get behind the rocks in time for the attack to complete, you're dead, because so he spits out a bunch of rocks, and then if you're not behind them, he does this he vents himself, and it'll shoot this smoke out over the arena, and it deals a massive amount of damage. If you're not dead, you're going to be at almost no HP, and you're going to have to eat really fast. It's not fun to get caught. So, but the line for the rock attack is you're going to run to the corner, and then you're just going to form a line like this, and then go up and around. So again, it's just this kind of motion right here. If you do it diagonally, it's totally fine. The main thing is that you want a wall of rocks in front of you over here, so then you're behind them to be shielded from him. It's actually a pretty cool attack. But I'm going to cover all that. And then the lightning attack, he's going to shoot out a lightning charge. It's just going to go like this, and he's going to kind of go clockwise. As long as you stay in front of him as you run around here, you're going to be okay. This is the only part of the fight that you're going to want to be right here, because as you're going to see when I get into the example kills, if you're out here anywhere not right up against the bank of his little pond, he shoots little lightning attacks, and you can get hit by them. So you definitely want to make sure that you stay close. There are some folks who just kind of run back and forth over here and can skip over the giant wave that he shoots. There's not really a need to learn that. I've never bothered with it, because with the agility update that they did about 4 to 5 months ago at the time of the making of this video, when they did the agility rework, you pretty much have enough run energy and stamina to go and to get it done without having to do that. And as you're running around here, you can be clicking on him and then clicking back and staying well behind the lightning. And then that's basically it. And then it's just rinse and repeat. Now, and you're going to see this in the examples really well, but remember how I said the only time that you actually see him fire the orbs super, super slow is this first one. So after the first special attack, he's going to be at the speed of this. And then his second attack after that, the second volley will be that same speed, but mage range and melee. And then that third volley is going to be super fast. So you lose a gear every time, if that makes sense. You'll see it demonstrated in the example kills, don't worry. But essentially the gist of it is like this. The first time when you first climb up there, I have 4 waves to stun him. Or I have 4 volleys that I work through. The second time I only have 3. And then if it goes, I only have 2. Because he's going to start with mage, range, and melee, and then the next one is going to be that fast speed of mage and range, and then I stun him. So you lose 1 every single time after every special attack. Not the end of the world, it's just something to be aware of. And then it's basically just rinse and repeat until we hit enrage phase. So the whole reason why we're keeping a path clear around here is for the enrage phase. In the northeast corner, up over here, when he gets to 175, 180 HP, somewhere around there, he's going to flick his head up to the ceiling. Rocks are going to constantly be falling. They're not going to be permanent. They're going to hit and shatter and fall away. But the debris is something that we're going to have to be concerned with. But he's going to spawn in what's called the Abyssal Pathfinder. It's basically like this orb. You want to stay close to it, and it just kind of moves around the arena clockwise. And as long as you're within the orb, it's a damage buff. You deal a lot more damage to him. That's when we want to switch over to our Web Weaver and dump both of our special attacks into him at that point. Most trips you're going to be able to, or most kills I should say, you're going to be able to kill him with both of your Web Weaver specs. Very, very rarely does it ever go past that, and even if it does, if you stay within the Pathfinder and get like 1 more attack off, he's going to be dead, or the poison from the Web Weaver is going to kill him. So as long as you're within that Pathfinder, you're going to be golden. We're going to cover it a little bit more in the example kills, and he's also, the other thing I wanted to mention here too is during the enrage phase, he's also firing orbs at you at this speed right here. That's slightly faster mage and range. So you don't have melee, it's just mage and range, and it's manageable. But again, we have a lot of objectives that we have to kind of think about at once during enrage phase. I would say our first objective is praying, making sure that we have the right prayer on. And secondly, it's staying within the Pathfinder. You don't really have to be quite as concerned with the rocks, and I'm going to talk about it again in the example kills. I can demonstrate it a little bit easier. The debris falling, you'll see the shadow on the ground, but like if let's say there's a rock here and I'm set up to run here, right? Like I'm over here and I'm running over here. I'm not really concerned about that because I'm going to go, like, while I'm set up to run here, I'm going to be clicking on him to spec him, and I'm going to stop in the middle of the run anyway. So I'm really, like, yes, I might be clicking over here to run over there, but when I get here, I'm clicking on the Leviathan. So I'm really going to be stopping for a second anyway. So I'm mostly just trying to stay with the Pathfinder. I'm not really as concerned with the rocks that are falling. Yes, if you get hit, it can deal like a 20 on you, but in most cases, it's actually easier to avoid. You want to make sure that you're praying the right prayers for his volley and staying with that Pathfinder, because you can actually end the fight a lot quicker than you think. If you stay with the Pathfinder, you don't have to be quite as concerned with the rocks. But it is just something that I wanted to touch on there. I'm going to go ahead and start this thing here. I'm going to climb up here. I'm purposely not going to drink a ranging potion because I want to drag the kill out so I can kind of show you a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So climb up. This would usually be the point where you drink the ranging potion. I'm going to pray my range boosting prayer and just click on him and attack. And then we see, magic orbs, blue. There's a green one for range, magic. This is going to be the slowest those orbs come. So enjoy that first volley while you can. Then see he flicks his head up. That rock stays permanent right next to me there. And then we see north and south here. See north and south. I tried to show you, missed an orb. Now see, here we are, wave 3, red. And see, now we got more rocks next to us. So managing where those rocks are going to stay important for the path. So we have a clear path around here for the Pathfinder. Now wave 4, here we go. See, it's coming a lot faster now. Got to be on top of it. Now this is after this wave, this is where I like to stun him. So I'm switching over, moving off that path. And see, he gets a couple of attacks off. So we got to be like right back onto our prayers there. And I'm going to hit him as I round the corner here. Deal that massive amount of damage, and I'm going to go ahead and start here. I kind of messed that up trying to show you guys, but that's okay. up and around. So see, I already didn't manage that very well. I wasn't paying attention, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and eat real quick. I'm going to just move next to it here. I still have a clear path around here. It doesn't look as pretty as I would usually have it, but that's okay. And see how we're already on wave 3. That's what I was talking to you about earlier there. See, we lost the volley because, so see, this speed right now, that first time just a minute ago was like wave 4. So we lose a volley every time, but that's okay. We're still dealing some damage here. I'm going to move off of the space, switch over, stun him. Right back to my prayers because we got to go. And see, I can hit him as I round the corner here because my character's actually kind of like a tile ahead. Now, one other thing to see, I didn't have the perfect path there. I had a couple rocks blocking, and I took some lightning damage there. That's okay. This is good. This shows you what not to do, especially when you're trying to narrate a guide and do this. But that's okay. It's not going to ruin the kill. He's going to dump us off right here. The Pathfinder's going to spawn right here in just a second, right over there. And there's our Pathfinder. So I'm going to eat up again. And see, it's just mage and range. He's throwing a few attacks. I got hit by a rock there. That's okay. Now, I want to talk about this before I actually go in here and kill him. I'm not so much concerned. I know I took some damage there a minute ago, but the strategy for this is really actually a lot simpler than it looks. I'm not so much concerned with where the boulders are falling on the ground here. And the reason for that is going to be because let's say I'm clicking like right over here and there's going to be a rock that falls on me like right there. I'm going to be clicking back on him for the attack. So to me, I don't care so much about where the rocks are going to fall. I'm more concerned about like moving, dumping the spec, and being within the Pathfinder, just like that. See? Oh, see, I didn't kill him. And the rest of the damage did. Oh, pretty good drop there. You don't see that too often, so that's cool for the guide. I wanted to pause the trip there real quick and go back and get some more food. Just with me talking and narrating and not drinking a raging potion to drag the fight out, I'm using a little bit more food, so I just wanted to make sure I'm good to go for this next kill here. So right back up there, praying my best range prayer and just on the prayer swaps. Now, one thing I want to talk about here, you're going to take chip damage and you're going to take damage from your bolts, especially if the special effect of the dragon bolts hits. So don't panic just because you see hit splats coming up on your character here. There's chip damage and everything else. So as you notice here, north and south, that's going to be the rock attack that we're going to start with here. That's going to be his first special attack. So just focus on praying your prayers. And don't panic if you see a hit splat. And if you're playing on mobile, you want to make sure that you're clicking in the right area too. Even on PC, because sometimes you got to move quick. So hitting him as I round the corner, going up right here to the corner, and then you can go. Now you see it's 2 rocks to a tile. See that? So you can walk slow, right? Like you can walk like at this speed, or you can walk like boom, 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 like, you know, at a continuous pace. It's not going to matter. It really doesn't matter what pace you walk at. And then remember, we're just keeping that path open. One other thing that I wanted to touch on there, I know that you saw me pre-fire coming around the corner, because again, your character is a little bit further ahead. It's kind of just like with Vorkath, right? You got a little bit more time as you round the corner here. So see, like I can trigger the attack now and kind of go. I spec'd him a little bit early. I just wanted to kind of show a little bit more of that fight here. So this lightning attack is actually the only point in the entire fight that you want to be up where I'm at right now, right up against the bank of his little pond right here. And the reason for that is he has a melee attack that does not feel good if you get hit by it. So we want to keep it. We want to keep up and away at all times, even during. Oh man, I thought I had that combo eat. That's okay. At every other point in the fight, we want to stay away from the bank of that pond because his melee attack, he does like this bite animation at you, and it deals a lot of damage when it actually hits you. All right, there's our Pathfinder. And remember here too, your character moves east to west first and then north to south. So like, that can get you in trouble, especially if you're trying to find the Pathfinder. If you get if you're on the opposite corner of the arena and you're trying to find the Pathfinder, right? You're going to want to go up. So like if the Pathfinder's over here, you want to go up out of the way first and then over, right? Like up like this and over. Because if you're down here and you cut the corner like this, you're going to be within range of his melee attack. So stay up and out of the way. And I'm going to bail here. But yeah, I mean that's it. That's a little bit more. That's the kill a little bit cleaner there. So I want to talk about closing thoughts here as we wrap this guide up. So pointers and everything as you're learning the fight. Starting out, you want to make sure that you kind of be comfortable when you're going to stun him. When you're first learning the fight, I would not recommend going above 3 volleys before you stun him, right? So it's going to be the super, super, super slow range and mage attack, slightly faster, and then, that same tier speed with mage, range, and melee. Once you start getting over here, it's all about the timing and feeling. So when you get comfortable, with the mage, range, and melee, that first volley, that third volley, that first one where we actually see the melee attacks, once you're comfortable with that, then you can start going to the next wave. One thing that helped me get comfortable with some of those faster speeds is like when I was learning the boss, on wave 3, at the end of wave 3, when I would stun him, before he actually stuns, he starts getting a couple of attacks off before the stun actually hits him. So I had plenty of practice with those faster speeds. And when I got comfortable switching, switching over to my staff stunning him and then switching back onto my prayers, because what I do when I stun him is I will have the staff in my hand, I'll stun him, I'm back on my prayer books to flick the next couple of prayers that he hits before the stun actually takes effect. And then as I'm running around to hit him in the back, that's when I switch back over to my crossbow to shoot him in the back. So those first couple of attacks that he's going to throw after you start the process of stunning him are good practice because it's probably not going to kill you. And this has been a phenomenon that I've noticed, once you've clicked to stun him, every volley after that will only damage you like about half of what it would have. So he's not going to hit you for like a 20 or a 25. It might be like a 7 or an 8, a 10 or a 12. So it's a little bit more, those couple of attacks that he's going to get off before the stun takes effect are going to do about half damage. So it's super good practice to start to get comfortable with the next level there. But knowing when you're learning this fight, knowing when you're going to stun him is super important. Get comfortable with where it's going to drop you off at. So, after the first lightning attack, if lightning's first, he's going to drop you off, somewhere over here, for an example. Have that plan out for the rocks, because we want to keep, as you saw from the earlier example kill, we want to keep this open and we want to keep space out here open all around the arena. And obviously, like I was saying there, you only want to be over here right up against the bank of the lake there during the lightning attack when you're running around. For every other portion of the fight, you want to stay out and away. You can roll the dice. You saw me do it a couple of times there, but anytime you move down there, even if it's just for a second, like you saw my character move up there and then back off of it, even if it's just for a second, he can attack you with melee. And sometimes he attacks you right away. Sometimes you can walk the whole length of it, but if you're low on health because you're trying to push it and you're trying to wait until a different part of the fight to heal and eat real quick, that melee attack can deal a ton of damage and derail a trip super quick. It can earn you a one-way ticket to Lumbridge or Falador or wherever your respawn point is, so definitely try and avoid it to the best of your ability. That's it for that, and it's just a matter of getting the feeling down. I can't stress it enough. Use that in between to just kind of get the feel of the attacks and the rhythm of it down. And then just have patience. You are going to die here pretty consistently. Even after you get the boss down, I die plenty of times still. There's plenty of times where I'm in my prayer book, doing this on mobile, and I accidentally click. There's plenty of times where I accidentally click on this instead of magic during a fast volley, and I'm like, okay, wait, the next one's going to be ranged, so that you try to get back in the groove of it and just, not die. So have patience with it, but I think you'll be okay. So anyway, that's the complete Leviathan guide. I'm going to do a 1-hour kill trip here. We'll have some fun with it. I hope this video helps you. If it did, like, comment down below, and I wish you nothing but the best here. Take care.